coaster has a circumference of 12.56 inches. For those of you who don't know, this circular disc upon which this cup rests is called a coaster. And the coaster is circular, and it has a circumference of 12.56 inches. Suppose the same amount of coaster is visible around the bottom of a glass as shown. What is the circumference of the glass? So if we look at this, we know that we're taking off 1 inch of diameter. So if we could find the diameter of the cup, then we could find the circumference of the glass. So here's what we're going to do then. We're going to find diameter for the coaster. Then we're going to find diameter for the glass. And then we're going to find the circumference of the glass. So here we go. Diameter for the coaster. Well, we know that the circumference is pi times diameter, and we know that the circumference is 12.56, which equals 3.14 times the diameter. We divide both sides by 3.14 to undo multiplication, and that gives us the diameter is 4 inches. The diameter for the glass is going to be 1 full inch shorter because it's 1/2 inch on one side, 1/2 inch on the other side. For the diameter for the glass, then, we have 4 minus 1, meaning the diameter of the glass is 3 inches. So then the circumference of the glass is going to be circumference equals pi times diameter. So circumference is 3.14 times 3. And that would be 9.42 inches. There we go. In this next one, it says, are the side lengths of the squares in diagram A and diagram B equivalent? Explain your reasoning. Well, in diagram A, the side length is 10 feet because the diameter is 10 feet. Then we're saying in diagram B, the sum of the radii. Let's find out about that. If we look here, we've got 1 radius here, 2 radius over here, meaning that each circle has a 2-foot diameter. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the sum of the radii is 10 feet. Thus, the sides of diagram B are 10 feet. Therefore, the side lengths are equivalent. Now, this is again one of those things where we've got all these sentences. If we used symbols, we may have been able to do this a little bit faster. We could have said something along the lines of this. We know that this length here, we call this length A. We call this length down here, we call that B. We could have said A equals 10 feet. We could have then said that B equals 1 times 10, which is 10 feet. And then we could then say, therefore, A equals B. So that's just a way to shorthand stuff. You guys will do more shorthanding in the future. You release a ball with a radius of 1 inch into a pipe as shown. How many times will the ball rotate before it falls out the other end of the pipe? So what we're going to do is we're going to find out how long is one rotation, and then we're going to find out number of rotations. So what we'll do here, how long is one rotation? That's the same thing as saying, what's the circumference? So circumference is, we've got a radius there, so that's 2 pi r. So circumference is 2 times 3.14 times 1, and that gives us 6.28 inches. So we know that when it rolls 6.28 inches, the first roll. Now, the number of rotations, our rotations are in 5 feet. So 5 times 12 gives us 60 inches. And what we do then is we say 60 inches is the length it needs to go. How many times does 6.28 go into 60? Well, it goes in roughly 9.6 rotations. So that ball, or marble, will rotate 9.6 times inside that tube. The last problem for this page, the wire is bent to form 4 semicircles. How long is the wire? Well, if we think this through here for a moment, we could find one semicircle of 32 centimeters 4 times. That's one way of doing the problem. Or you could look at this again and say, hey, this circle here, I could actually put on top right here, and then I could go 2 full circles of 32 centimeters. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. There's one more thing you could do, because you could technically do 1 full circle of 64 centimeters, but we'll leave that be. So here we go. We're going to go 2 times the circumference, and so that means we're going to go 2 times our diameter is given, so 2 times pi d, and so twice the circumference is 2 times 3.14 times the diameter of 32, and so we're looking at 200.96 centimeters.